You know, it's time to go back to school, and the best time to buy a laptop is right now at your local microcenter. And if you're looking for something ultra portable, ultra lightweight, easy to carry all day, but also something that can run games, well, that actually sounds like two completely different devices, because when you think of gaming laptops, you don't really think of portable and lightweight. But what if you can actually get all of that in one device? Well, that's actually what I have here with the Lenovo Legion 5. This is a beautiful, lightweight, compact gaming laptop that does not skip on performance. So we're going to talk about this guy a little bit, and then we're going to play a couple of games. But I have to say, trying it out already, I'm really impressed. This has an Intel Core i9-14900HX. So that gives you 8 performance cores, 16 low-powered efficiency cores, for a total of 24 cores and 32 threads. So CPU-wise, you're looking really, really good in terms of performance. But what about that GPU? Well, you have an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070. And while, yes, that is 8 gigabytes of GDDR7 VRAM, I found that on this device, that actually handles pretty well in a wide variety of games. Now, this laptop has everything that you really want for a gaming laptop, but it also has a couple of other features that I really like as well. Now, first and foremost, 32 gigabytes of memory here, so DDR5, 5600 memory, so you're looking really good there. This also has a 1 terabyte SSD. Now, one of my favorite things is actually the panel. This is a beautiful display here. It's an OLED display, so you're gonna get that great color rendition, those inky blacks. All around, it's gonna look fantastic. This is at a 2560 by 1600 resolution, so ultra sharp. All of your games are gonna look great, and it's at 165 hertz refresh rate. So it really hits everything that I really want out of a panel. And especially in this price range, you're getting one of the best panels that you can really get. I mean, it's really gorgeous looking, and we'll look at that in just a minute. I actually have Windows HDR calibration open here. Why don't we get that guy started? Let's turn on HDR. And that's actually the first thing that you should really always do whenever you get an HDR enabled display, whether it's a laptop, monitor, anything else. Now, the HDR calibration tool you can actually get in the Microsoft Store. It takes like 2 seconds to install, and I think it's something that not a lot of people do, so it's really easy to use. You just have to get your minimum luminance, so I'm looking for when this little square goes away, and I kind of lose it, basically just there. Oh, frame gen's in the way, or frame view's in the way, that's kind of funny. Now I'm gonna look for my maximum luminance. Ignore frame view, I have it open in the background. Actually, I'm just gonna close it. That's really funny that frame view pops up when I'm trying to do a calibration. So I'm gonna look for that peak brightness, which I'm finding to be, gosh, 1650? 1650, wow, that's actually really bright. Let's see how much I can crank. Yeah, about the same, 1650 for the max luminance. Look at that, that is nuts. So it's cool because it just makes you a new color profile. Everything's all set there. And now with HDR enabled, all of my games are gonna look fantastic, especially on this panel. Now, Lenovo also has some default color space stuff in here that's actually pretty cool to play with, so that's actually something really nice to look at. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, we talked about some of the specs in here. Obviously for gaming, you're actually looking pretty good. But one thing to keep in mind, this is actually a pretty good video editing laptop as well. That 14900HX paired off with that 5070, it's actually going to do you really well for video editing. For instance, the cameras that we use here, those do really well when they are hardware supported. So when you have like your hardware acceleration, either through your Intel CPU or the 5000 series of NVIDIA GPUs now have hardware acceleration for all of the different like H.265 codecs that come out of this guy. With all of that acceleration, you can edit off of this really, really well. And with the color accuracy of this panel, this OLED panel, this would be a really good portable editing machine. 4K video, no problem. DaVinci Resolve, no problem. It's gonna run really, really well on this. And when you look at just the way that this is designed, this feels kind of like a ThinkPad, which I love ThinkPads. Lenovo ThinkPads are great. And just like the ThinkPad, it has a beautiful keyboard over here. It has those True Strike switches, so it has that kind of tactile feel that you really love from those ThinkPad keyboards, and it's also a full keyboard. So it comes with your numpad here on the right and all of your keys over here. really like this keyboard a lot. The one thing it's missing is just that ThinkPad nub, but frankly, for a gaming laptop, you don't really need it. It's just kind of nice to have. You get used to it and it's hard to lose. Very clicky, nice little trackpad here, pretty standard. I really like some of the simplicity that they did with the design of this. I mean, this really looks like your run-of-the-mill laptop. So it doesn't feel like a gaming laptop. RGB and all of those other bells and whistles are always kind of nice to have with gaming laptops, but this is a much more discreet looking gaming laptop, which I really appreciate, because if you're going to take this to class, well, it just looks like any other laptop. And with an 80 watt-hour battery, you're still going to get really good battery life for your just everyday, tasks, browser stuff, email stuff, taking notes in class. It's going to hold just fine, but you still get the performance you want for gaming. So I'm going to load up Doom Dark Ages. We'll take a look at that while we talk about this guy a little bit more. Now, in terms of I/O, a lot of coverage over here. You have your USB-A, you have your USB-C, you also have a gigabit LAN over here, so you can get your wired Ethernet. Gigabit, that's pretty fine. 2.5 would be nice, but 1 gigabit, more than enough for what you need. Also has your HDMI on the back, as well as your power on the back as well. So that power brick, not too big, not too heavy, but definitely want to make sure you carry that with you. Now, this is 4.19 pounds, and that's actually pretty lightweight for a gaming laptop. So I really appreciate that a lot. It's a 15-inch, so it's between that 14 and 16-inch range. It doesn't feel too bulky. It doesn't feel too, too heavy or anything like other gaming laptops may. So I really appreciate all of those things. So I have Doom Dark Ages running right now, and I'm tweaking the settings a little bit. I have frame gen on for this one, but I am getting 270 FPS, 1% lows, jumping around 150s, 180s, but we're looking pretty good overall. I have HDR enabled, so this looks really, really good. And I know that this is a dark and gritty game. I've said this in other videos, but Doom Dark Ages actually looks really, really good on an HDR panel. Now, this panel has a glossy coating. So that's one thing to keep in mind with this one. The environment that I'm currently in, I have a lot of lights kind of pointed everywhere, so it makes it a little tricky. Also, I kind of have it at a funny angle just so I can sort of get it on camera a little bit. But with HDR enabled and with the brightness kind of cranked, I mean, it doesn't really bother me. If I was playing this, not on camera like I am now, I would move things around just a little bit just to get my ergonomics going. But performance-wise, this is definitely holding up. And I really like the panel on this a lot. Like, I really, really do. Now, one thing to note with this laptop, if you hit Function Q, you can change your performance modes or your sort of fan mode. So if you want a more quiet experience with the fans, you can actually turn the fans down a little bit. I have GPU utilization like 98%, but also I'm getting like 65 degrees on the GPU, 72 degrees on the CPU. And I just turned it to the quiet mode, so you can maybe hear that the fans are turning down just a little bit there. They were whirring up before, but not too loud. But either way, yeah, temps are looking really good. The cooler on this is actually really, really nice. I really like the keyboard on this. I have CyberPunk 2077 open now, and I'm running this on the Ray Trace Medium preset. I do have frame gen on. Didn't really tweak anything. I just kind of just dropped in the game, but average FPS, 116, 117, 1% lows, 90s, high 80s, but looking pretty good. This is actually really impressive. This is definitely holding up in terms of performance. Like, frame rate's definitely there. Now, when it comes to gaming laptops, you're always going to want to tweak your settings just a little bit to dial them in just right to get it where you want it. You're always going to have to sacrifice just a little bit of fidelity to get the best performance that you really want. But as far as CyberPunk goes, anything north of 60, I think looks great. And yeah, this looks phenomenal. This is really, really good. Now, this one's another favorite of mine. This is Helldivers 2, and I gotta say, this looks really good. This one does not have frame gen. Some games don't have frame gen at all. So this one's actually just running natively. I have this set to like all high settings. Let me just get my big gun here. There we go. This is a really fun one. FPS 60s, 70s, that's actually looking pretty good. It's only utilizing about 4 gigs of VRAM, so that's actually looking pretty fine. Uh-oh, looks like I got some trouble over here. This game is just chaotic. There we go. I'm going to stand on top of my turret and try to get some of these guys. So while the turret does all the work, I'll start talking. With this 5070 paired off with this 14900HX, really what you're looking at is a really good, again, it's like a mid-range in terms of performance and budget, but you're actually getting a lot of bang for your buck there. The 5070 does a pretty good job in most any game you can throw at it. Again, when it comes to gaming laptops, you really do want to dial in those settings. It's not like I went and optimized every single one of these, but once you start tweaking your settings a little bit, change your fidelity a little bit just to get those extra frames out there, you're going to dial this in and you're going to be playing perfectly fine. Now for your more CPU-bound games with that 14900HX, you're going to be looking golden there because that's going to give you all of the cores, all of the threads that you need. And those CPU-bound games really just love having juicy, powerful CPUs. They're less GPU intensive, and that's your Counter-Strikes, your Valorants, games of that nature. Fortnite, it's kind of a mix of both, to be perfectly honest. They definitely leverage your GPU quite a bit. But games like this one's more GPU bound. It's definitely doing a pretty good job holding up. And I have the fans set to the quiet mode, and it's running pretty well. Oh, but these bugs are definitely going to eat me. Let's see if I can reload really quick. There we go. And I have to say, this panel, paired off with everything else, this is absolutely gorgeous. Everything looks fantastic. Now, I just want to pop off the back panel very quickly and just take a look at the internals. Looks like you've got 4, 8, 9, 10 screws here keeping this down and locked in place. You have little foamies over here, and that's going to do a good job of raising the laptop, so you make sure you're cooler. Still getting some good airflow, even if you have this on a flat surface or if you even have this on a rubberized mat like I have here. So let's take a look inside and see what they're cooking up. This is why I like these iFixit kits, because these pry tools really make life so much easier. If you've never opened a laptop before, it's not as scary as it feels when you do it for the first time. These are just the plastic little hinges that keep it in place. They are meant to pop in and out, and they're also meant to be a little bit tight. So don't worry, you're not breaking anything. There we go. Cool, look at that. All right, so taking a look at the internals, I can see our 2 fans over here. I can see our heat pipes going over our CPU and our GPU, and we have our exhaust right here on the back. So everything is looking pretty good. 80 watt-hour battery right over here. I can see our Wi-Fi module plugged in right there. Also has the antenna. Looks like the antenna is running down under here somewhere. I'm not going to get too in the weeds on the internals, really just wanted to get a look inside there. But all in all, looking pretty good. I do see NVMe slot over here, and I see a little screw. So 2280, look at that. Looks like I can add extra storage pretty easily. So that's actually a very nice feature. So if I want to get extra storage right under there, my memory modules look like they're under this cover here. I could probably remove these screws to take a look, but I don't want to pry this apart just yet. You can upgrade the memory as well. Again, this comes with 2 sticks, so that gives you 32 gigs. You can do a max of 64 on this system. So that's something to keep in mind if you ever want to upgrade that. So upgrade your memory, add a little extra storage. It's always the nice thing about laptops. Some of them, they let you upgrade and you can really max it out. So that's something good. And then over here on the panel, you can definitely see thermal pad, help disperse some of the heat. Looks like this thermal pad goes right onto, yep, thermal pad right here can go right on this M2. So if you wanted to add your extra storage, thermal pad, help disperse that heat. That's actually pretty cool. So when it comes to a really lightweight portable gaming laptop, this Lenovo Legion 5, this really checks off all the boxes. Again, just look at this chassis. This does not scream gaming laptop, but the performance is definitely there. I think it performs really well for its size, for its budget. I think it does a really good job. And I think that this really is just the ideal all-day carry gaming laptop. And remember, you can get the Lenovo Legion 5 at your local Micro Center, so make sure you stop on by, check out our wide selection of different laptops, and if you don't have a Micro Center near you, then be sure to comment hashtag I want a Micro Center near me.